It's customary for sellers to continue showing their property and even hosting open houses after they've accepted an offer. In fact, it's standard practice for sellers to continue showing their home until contracts have been signed in New York City. Why would sellers continue showing? Informed sellers understand that accepted offers are meaningless and entirely non-binding in New York. Buyers can pull out or renegotiate at any time before contracts are signed. Similarly, sellers can pull out of an accepted offer, sell to someone else, or take the house off market at any time before they countersign a contract. As a result, only a very naive seller would agree to take his or her house off the market as soon as there's an accepted offer. Doing so can waste precious weeks of time on the market if the buyer falls through, and if the buyer decides to renegotiate after weeks of hemming and hawing, the seller is in a weaker position given all the time wasted. At what stage will a house be taken off market? A house will only be taken off the market if it sells and closes, or if the accepted offer falls through and the owner decides to take the house off market. The listing agent will not just take his or her listing off the market because you have an accepted offer. For starters, many MLS associations have strict rules on listing status updates, and listing agents must accurately update their listing status in a timely manner, often within 24 hours. As a result, a listing agent may not be able to just take it off the market because you have an accepted offer, even if the listing agent wished to comply. Why would sellers agree to stop showing? Sellers may agree to stop showing if they have a sufficient number of backup offers, or simply because they can't deal with the stress and mess of any more people coming through their house. In rare instances, a seller may actually agree to cancel future open houses or even any further showings for a strong accepted offer. However, this will typically only happen if a listing is very stale and has been on the market for 100 days or more. At this point, the seller may be desperate and may agree to anything, including possibly even making repairs to the property before closing. In even rarer instances, we've seen sellers agree to stop further showings for an accepted offer primarily because the seller refused to listen to his or her listing agent and naively didn't want to get anyone else's hopes up of getting their dream home. Buyer strategies to take a home off market. A common buyer strategy to monopolize the attention and time of a seller is to make an overly attractive offer that the seller can't refuse, and to start a tantrum about the listing still being on the market. If the seller is naive enough to believe that the buyer is acting in good faith, then the seller may actually agree to cancel future open houses and stop actively showing the property. Unfortunately for the seller, this puts the sneaky buyer in prime position as the sole potential buyer with a head start on due diligence. Thinking of buying or selling in New York City? Save money with Hauseit, New York City's largest and most trusted for sale by owner and buyer closing credit company. Hauseit has saved New Yorkers millions of dollars in commissions since 2014, and we'd love to help you too. Subscribe to our channel and check us out at www.hauseit.com.